Okay, so we have a problem. I've got no tail light. I've got brake, I've got right blinker, I got left blinker, but no tail light. We are taking a different route to work today. Hey, we're gonna get this out of the way early. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button down at the bottom. Shoot me a like, comment if it suits you. As always, I like that interaction. So I have a habit of checking my taillight. If you remember, if you watched it, the MK Designs Shorty Tail Kit installation video, I complained at length about the diameter of the wires that come off of the LED strip that's included in the kit. But when I got them all soldered together onto the connector pins, I thought, well, it's soldered, it's not going anywhere. Not really taking into account that, you know, all that work with the heat and the solder, it makes it a little brittle there at the connection. Saturday night, I went down to a bar here in Tampa called the Dirty Shame. Popular spot for motorcycle riders in the area. Before I left to go out, I did check my tail light. Everything was working just fine. I've been to the Dirty Shame a lot of times, and for some reason, every time I go down there, I always get turned around. Where that bar is situated is in a district of Tampa called Ybor City, which is kind of old Tampa, if you will. A lot of former cigar trade down there, your warehousing and manufacturing down there. And a lot of the roads down there are brick roads. So I took one of the brick roads so I could come up in the alleyway to park at the Shame. And, you know, brick roads are extremely bumpy. Well, I didn't think anything about it. Later that night, as I was about to leave, a guy, some of you guys will know, Flipna, was out back, and I said, hey, you want to take this thing for a little spin? He did. As he was taking off, I noticed I don't have a tail light. I'm like, oh shit. I mean, by that point it was too late to stop him if he cared. And I rode home that night with no tail light, just the brake light and the turn signal. So this is the first time since I've done that LED strip swap that I wish I had a traditional bulb, because when these things go out, there is no replace the bulb. I've got to rewire the light. I'm going to assume that the wire broke at the soldering connection. That's the most likely place that happened. The pins that go on this bike, you can't just search. Well, I didn't have any luck at it. You can't just search female pin adapters or wiring connectors, whatever, for a Royal Enfield. The information is just not there. So I remembered last night that the video from Dorman Diary, this is now like the third time I've referenced his wiring videos, but I remembered that in his description of one of his wiring videos, he had a whole set of 10 pin connectors from eBay in his description. So I clicked on that just to get the nomenclature of the pins I was looking for, but still it was very difficult to find. There wasn't anything on Amazon. I could have ordered from eBay, but that would have come from the UK, and the estimated delivery date was between June 15th and June 28th, which is just a wild 2-week variance in when that was going to be delivered, because ultimately I had to get this thing rewired, but in the US it was just really hard to find. I finally found a website. Now take what I have to say here with a grain of salt. This guy could be well known and established in the motorcycle wiring community, but the website looks like it's from the late 90s. When you're used to contemporary looking websites, you get on a site like that and your suspicions immediately arise, like, is this guy legit? He had a minimum $5 order, so I ordered 20 of these damn connectors and 2 feet of heat shrink just to get over the $5. With shipping, I think I spent a little over $9. Again, the jury's out. It could be the best thing to happen to motorcycle wiring components since motorcycle wiring came into existence. I don't know. Good for him for being an entrepreneur. I don't know yet. We'll see. Anyway, we're back in familiar territory on my commute. If you follow me along on some of these, one way or the other, we're getting that front stuff done this weekend. Okay, friends, it is lunchtime. I've got a bad habit. Well, that's not a bad habit, just a habit. I normally put on my helmet and gloves on the other side of the motorcycle. I don't know why I do that. Then I always have to walk around to get on the motorcycle. So this is my first time recording, trying to do a vlog, trying to record footage during a work day. I normally don't do that because, one, I'm at work. It's a whole different mentality when you're at work than when you're making videos and when you're hanging out with your family. You know how it is. It's not different personalities. You're just in a different frame of mind. If I'm shooting a video normally, I try to put focus on that, not anything else. It's kind of hard to do that when you're splitting up for work. We're going to hit up this little spot I found not too far from work called Shamrocks. Looks like a happening little place, but it's always dead in there. So I'm guessing that maybe it's busier at night than it is on a Wednesday at noon. I don't know, but it's a good little spot to sit there. You know, I'll take an hour for lunch. Gives me enough time to ride up here, grab a quick bite. I get their wings every time. The more I take you along with me for meals, you'll start to pick up pretty quick. But I don't have a very broad range of foods that I eat. I eat a lot of wings, man. Shamrocks Ale House. They do in fact have ale in there. Alright, let's get in there and give her a go. So I'm 100% certain that I get stared at funny when I pull out the camera inside public places. And I think the thing that throws people off the most is that microphone on top of the camera. It looks literally like a dead rabbit or mouse or something. I think I mentioned in my last video I was going to take out the pads in my helmet and wash the pads for the first time, and I watched a couple of instructional videos. I actually started recording me disassembling my helmet, and I realized that the cheek pads and the skull pad are all one single pad, and you couldn't disconnect. There was like one tether in the middle of the back of the helmet that you just couldn't detach from the helmet, so it was like a big waste of time. So I put it all back together again, and you know how that helmet is just, it's filthy. So I'm gonna have to invest in a new one at some point here soon, because I know it's dirty in there and I don't want to keep putting that on my head. Not just that, the bottom of the pad that comes around the back of the helmet, it's just so nasty. If I put my helmet on a light colored shirt, it leaves black ring around my shirt. It's pretty disgusting, and yes, it stinks pretty bad. I'm not one to spend $600, $700, $800 on a helmet, so it'll probably be something in the $300 or less range. Nice and quiet in here. There's 3 other little groups, not bad at all. We'll see you when the food gets here. These are not similar to the ones that I normally get at my spot, but superb.
Say it again. Superb.
All right, so that's lunch. I'm gonna head back to work, finish out the work day. I'll either see you on the way home or at home. I decided not to record on the way home from work because it would just be me bitching about the heat and traffic the whole time, and nobody really wants to hear that anyway. Thanks for coming along with me today on this weird recording day. Like I said before, I'm not really much of a work day vlogger, so I tried to fit that in. I don't know what the vibe of the video is going to be, so if you stick around through this, great. Thanks for coming along, and until next time, we'll see you later.